What is going on, everybody, and welcome to Cine James Movie Talk. I'm your host, Mr. Cine James himself, and today we are going to be discussing the new Clayface teaser trailer. So if you like my content, you like my show, hit that like, hit that subscribe, show me some love. I greatly appreciate all of your support. So now let's get into my thoughts on the new Clayface teaser trailer. This movie is, before we get into my thoughts, let's have a little quick discussion on the movie itself. This is going to be the third movie released in the new DCU, and it's also a prequel movie. So we've already got Superman last year. We have Supergirl releasing this summer. This is going to be the third movie in the DCU, but it's also going to be a prequel movie. It takes place before Superman. Now, where Clayface is going to fit in the overall timeline scale of the DCU, we don't know yet, but we do know for sure this is a prequel movie before Superman. Clayface was directed by James Watkins. I'm not very familiar with James Watkins, but he did do Speak No Evil back in 2024, starring James McAvoy. This movie is also written by Mike Flanagan. Mike Flanagan is a name for sure. He did Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor. He did Midnight Mass, Fall of the House of Usher. He did Dr. Sleep. So I'm a Mike Flanagan fan. So it was really good to see him attached to this. The movie's going to be releasing on October 23rd, which is the perfect time of year to release a movie like this. It gets released during my favorite time of year, Halloween. So to have a horror movie like this being released during spooky season, I think is going to add to the excitement of going to see this movie. The story follows Matt Hagen, who is an actor who's down on his luck. And after an attack that leaves him disfigured, he undergoes an experimental procedure that then turns his body into a clay-like substance that allows him to shape-shift. Just a little backstory to Clayface. Clayface is a villain. He's a villain in Batman's Rogues Gallery, for those that don't know. So with that being said, the movie does take place in Gotham, and we're going to touch base more on that when I get into the review. So now let's go ahead and let's talk this trailer up, shall we? I have to be honest with this movie. When they announced the lineup for the DCU and Clayface was on there, I didn't really have an anticipation to go see this movie. I didn't really have an excitement for it. Of course, I'm going to go see it because it's tied into the DCU. So you have to go see it, right? But it wasn't something that was on my list of anticipated movies. When I watched this teaser, I'm sold on it. I am ready to go see this movie. Of course, like I said at the beginning, it is a horror movie. It's actually more primarily towards body horror, if you will. The other cool thing about this movie is that it's going to have an R rating, which for this movie, you have to have. I'm not saying you couldn't, but I don't think you could present this movie in the way that it needs to be presented, or could you present a character such as Clayface in the way that he needs to be presented if you try to do it with a PG-13 setting. I don't think that would work. So making this an R-rated movie, I think it is definitely what is needed. And from the first clip of this trailer, it brings you right in. I was the imagery of that first clip, which I can assume that it is Matt Hagen. It is either after whatever the attack is, or it's after his surgery. It's either one, but that first image you just see, and you see it. And the big thing about that first scene, that first little clip that we get, is it really is being portrayed through his eyes. You look at those eyes, and that's the other thing. I can't think of the actor's name off the top of my head, but when you look at these different clips in this trailer, you just see a vulnerability in his face. You see, it's just you kind of have you want to kind of feel sorry for him with what happened. You just see it in his eyes. And again, I apologize, I don't know this actor's name off the top of my head, but the development he's doing in his eyes in his trailer, it says a lot. In that first clip, you see everything. You just see that in his eyes, he's just scared. There's a vulnerability there, and there's a fear in that. And that is actually one of the taglines to this movie: look fear in the face. I like the other quick cuts in this trailer. They easily show, and it was kind of interesting to think about how are they going to do Clayface? Okay, how are they going to put that in live action? And when you see the quick, I call them quick scare scenes, the quick flash scenes, and they show that body horror transformation with his face, it looks absolutely awesome. It's frightening. It's scary to it's scary to look at, and the song they put behind it fits with it. You get some glimpses of some action in there, which I think it's going to be really awesome to see Clayface in action with the shape shifting. You get the one scene in the trailer where it shows him raising up his hand, and it transforms into the big mace, the big spiked mallet, if you will. So that's going to be really exciting and really interesting to see how they show the action scenes with him when he's full Clayface and he's doing his thing. We talked about this at the beginning. You do get glimpses of Gotham in this trailer, and I like the way Gotham looks. I really like the way Gotham looks in this. And again, they're just glimpses, so I hope that the overall look of Gotham stays true to what we see in this trailer, because again, you want Gotham to have that dark and gritty look. You want it to be the contrast to Metropolis, right? Where Metropolis, again, as we talked about, it's got it's full, like the vibrant, the color, whereas Gotham, even the people in the city, Metropolis has a different vibe with its people in the city, where they're kind of a little more upbeat and everything, whereas Gotham has that more, I want to say, realistic feel to it. So I really hope that stays true, not only in just Clayface, but I hope that it stays true in future DCU movies that revolve around Gotham. With it being in Gotham, the obvious big thing, there's a couple things I want to touch on, some speculation, some thoughts. As I watched this trailer, my thought was, what will happen? What will we do with Batman now that we are now introducing Gotham? We have not formally been given a casting yet on Batman. However, I think that we will get a name drop of the Dark Knight in Clayface. I don't think we're going to get, I could be wrong. I have no information to anything on this. I'm purely speculating. I don't think we will get a live action. I don't think we're actually going to get Batman in the Clayface movie, but I would have to believe we're going to get a mention of Batman. We're going to get a name drop. Maybe perhaps, and again, I'm purely speculating, maybe perhaps in a post-credit scene, we get the bat signal with a name drop, or we don't get a name at all. We just get the bat signal that goes up. Also with that, do we think we're going to get any of the other villains name drop? Do we think we're going to get an appearance by any of the other villains in Batman's Rogues Gallery in Clayface? If we do, I think that that's going to be really cool, but I don't think we're going to need it in this movie. It looks like for the most part, this is going to be a standalone Clayface movie. We may get a name drop or two here or there, but if we do, we do. We don't, we don't. I still think this movie is going to be a fun ride. So that's all I have, guys. That's all I have for my short, quick thoughts on the Clayface teaser trailer. I'd like to know your thoughts. Please leave me a comment on this video. If you got any questions, go ahead and drop them in there as well. Before we end this show, I want to run through just a few things. If you have not checked it out yet, please check out my first episode where I did a non-spoiler review on the Michael biopic. And then my next episode is going to be a full spoiler review on the Michael biopic. Also, too, I want to let you guys know I have another show that is going to be starting. We actually just finished our first episode last week, and that will be dropping really soon. That is going to be the Super Cinema Bros, where me and my co-host, the Big Rob Theory, will be talking about the Star Wars prequels. That show is going to be talking about a lot of different movie series. We're going to deep dive into a lot of different series, new, old, you name it. And this being the month of May, we are going over the Star Wars saga. So we are getting ready to release our episode on the Star Wars prequels. And then also, too, myself and the Big Rob Theory, at the beginning of our episode, we do discuss our thoughts on the Clayface trailer. So you'll get to hear his thoughts on that as well. Once again, that is my co-host, the Big Rob Theory. Also, too, you can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on Facebook at Cine James Movie Talk. And then coming soon as well, I'm still working on this. Coming soon as well, you will be able to check this podcast out on Spotify. So once again, guys, that is my short thoughts, reviews to the Clayface teaser trailer. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to have, if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. Once again, guys, if you like my show, hit that like, hit that subscribe, show me some love, please. I need all the love and support I can get, and I greatly appreciate it. So that's it, guys. And until next time, I will see you at the box office.